with some other guy that you knew before. Between the two of us guys, you know I loved him more. Well, it took me by surprise, I must say, when I found out yesterday. Ooh, I heard it through the grapevine. How much longer would you be mine? Ooh, what's up, buddies? What's up, folks? JPS delivers here. I hope y'all are having a great one. I'm definitely having a great one. Had a group interview earlier, just how Indeed is set up here in Austin. It was an awesome interview. Had a good time. Definitely enjoyed myself. I'm gonna have another interview for a soccer coaching job. That's just things are playing out well right now, and I can't help but be grateful for that, of course, and I can't help but be grateful for the times that it wasn't playing out very well. Having a good one. I hope y'all are enjoying your day. Um, just as much, if not even more, than I am. I hopefully, even if y'all are going through some struggles right now, hopefully y'all are helping yourselves realize that some of those struggles are just there for you to, you know, construct yourself just like, chipping away like a marble fountain or something. Ugly Rome used to look at one point, and now people like fucking Hillary Duff, fucking Lizzie McGuire's over there, making a movie. That's like fucking what, 15 years ago. Hey now. This is what dreams are made of. Oh man, some stupid shit. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying myself. We saw game one right here: Stephen Curry balling on Trey Young and Devin Booker and company. Capella still had a pretty good game, but you're gonna have to just see more shots being put up between. I mean, look at that. Trey Young only has 9 shots. Devin Booker has 13. Those dudes should be shooting around 40 to 50 times a game for their teams. J.R. Smith only 13, but I mean, if he's gonna put up 4 shots in 13 minutes, don't you want Trey Young putting up twice as many as 9 in 32? I mean, that just seems to be the case. But man, what a shellacking right there. Just an ass whooping. I expect to see the Crafters in the championship, and my God, that's gonna be hard as fuck to play Steph Curry. But yeah, just man, it is what it is, though. But yeah, I hope things go well with my interview with Indeed, how they did today, and hope the phone call goes well. And I hope everything's going well with everyone back home. If not, like I said, be grateful for everything that comes to you. I took a sip right there. Let's go ahead and start this matchup up. Let's go ahead and see what their roster looks like. Lillard, CJ McCollum, Josh Jackson on the Suns. Forgot they're 8-3 in these playoffs so far. We are 8-1. There's no way we could have 9 wins. 8-1. It's going to be a nice matchup, right? Yeah, they swept Golden State, this team we struggled with for sure. Derek Favors on this team, Willie Cauley-Stein, so we have an athletic dude to keep up with Bamba. I think Derek Favors might be interesting when he's playing against, but I think Jonathan Isaac can hold him. I think Trevor Booker could definitely play against Derek Favors, both guys that used to be on the Utah Jazz together. Jay Crowder is on this team as well. Jeremy Lin, Jamichael Green, Bismack Biyombo, and Mike James making an appearance. Scal Labissiere, Maurice Spates, Mo Spates, and Dante DiVincenzo. Let's go ahead and get it started. It's going to be in Phoenix. Should be quite the game. But I do think for a good, decent amount that I think Murray and Rondo and Beal should do quite well against these guards defensively. And I have to make sure Murray doesn't get into foul trouble or anything like that along those lines. But yeah, definitely playing well. We're going to keep Kyle Korver going right there in that position. He's just playing too well not to play him, so I'm cool with that. Kevin Knox out there. I say let's substitute him with Terrence Ross, just more speed to keep up with this team, and I think Terrence Ross could play pretty well. We'll just have to see. But definitely, DeJounte Murray is going to have to be on Damian Lillard 24/7. Just going to have to be the case. And hopefully Beal can keep up with McCollum. And, hopefully McCollum can't keep up with Beal. Let's go ahead and start this shit. But Phoenix is going batshit crazy. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck was that slider? But yeah, that's a 5-game difference right there. That makes sense between the 2nd and 4th seed. But man, there's some really close seeding.
This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony as well as Doris Burke. And we've got David Aldridge is standing by for our pregame report.
All right. Let's get this bitch started.
Well, guys, thank you, David.
All right. Thank you, David. Goodbye, David. Let's get it going. But yeah, just recent news and stuff. We've seen the Michael Jackson thing, which I don't know why it's now that we have to really see how much of a fucking, like, you know, pedophile Michael Jackson was. Like, there's jokes made about it in the past, you know? Like, why is it got to be now that everybody's like, yeah, I've seen Neverland. I like, oh, man. It's like, yeah, man. It's like, I've seen, you know, it's like, I've seen that documentary. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. No. That, like, when, you know, it's like, like, yeah, that was dumb. I don't know why it let me, whatever. But it should the game should let you fuck up like that. So, but, you know what I mean? Like, and people are just, like, just coming out and, like, finding it really hard to believe and taking his side, like, oh, he was abused. And it's like, like, I understand most people don't study certain subjects, and, you know what I mean? People are good at what they do. People know about what they do. And, you know, not everybody's a sociologist or, you know, child psychologist and stuff like that, but there's something that people refer to as the cycle of abuse. And he fits the bill. I mean, you had Reverend Jesse Jackson, you know, Reverend Jesse Jackson. I'd make that joke, but his dad, his father, abused him and his siblings, you know. And with that being said, like, it makes sense that Michael Jackson became, like, some people are just really, you know, that's going to be the case with pattern abuse. That there's going to be people that sit there and, you know, are, you know, understand and realize that they are treated like shit. And you're going to get the likes, oh, nice block, Kuzma. But you're going to get people that recognize that what had happened to them was, you know, bad. And some people, and they're not going to do it, and they're going to be traumatized by it. Obviously, it's abuse. Nice play, Murray. But and they're not going to, you know, try their best to fight off any bit of urges that might be caused from, you know, the whole nurture thing about being raised in an abusive environment. That, you know, that they're not going to accept, you know, that that's them. You know. So with that being said, they're going to, you know, just live, unfortunately, with a bunch of trauma and having to deal with that stuff. And with that being said, is that you're going to have the likes of that. But however, like, you know, a lot of cases is that bad stays around bad, and with some people, you're going to get that pattern of abuse because they become abusers later on in their lives. And what you saw with Michael Jackson is like as if he himself, like, eventually, because you hear stories about Michael Jackson, and, like, you're like, man, it's like, did that, oh, nice floater there. Nice. Beal now with 2 assists. Like, Michael Jackson, the guy was a serial pedophile, like, you know, pretty much rapist, because it's obviously serial rape. Or, sorry. Man, Beal is dishing. You got to hit Beal on a shot coming up. But with Michael Jackson's case is that he became an abuser himself with these children, and the sad thing too is that why aren't the moms ever, like, put into, like, question about, you know, everybody's talking about Michael Jackson too, is that, like, why would you let this, like, and it was like these mothers wanted their children to be so famous that, you know, that, like, in itself they were okay with, like, or not okay, but, like, just didn't listen to the warning signs or something like that of their own children being put into harm's way because they're like, oh, well, this could affect, like, my child's, like, commercial success and stuff like that. And it's like, well, why do you got to be so negligent as a parent? so negligent as a parent that, like, of course your kid, you end up realizing that, oh yeah, when your child is staying over at a grown man's house and like sleeping in the same bed as him, no, no, you know what I mean? I love children and stuff, and I would love to do a mentorship job to where I'm helping children out and stuff like that. Especially, youth is such a dictating thing of how humans become when they become adults. It's just, is that in itself too? Is that'd be an honor to be that kind of position in someone's life as they're growing up. Nice shot, Kuzma. Beal is just dishing dimes right now. But yeah, it's like you're not going to sit there and just you can't, just because you want your child to have this success, now your children are completely fucked up. And they're so fucked up that even in the documentary you could see like they're like giving like, what's his face? They're giving Michael Jackson the benefit of the doubt sometimes on that shit. And it's like no. Like, you've done that to your child now that the child's even that fucked up to where, like, Stockholm Syndrome type things to where they're giving the, that's why children are not good witnesses for abuse, even though they have been abused, is because, one, their memory is not all too, like, compacted there and solidified to where, it's like a child in the classroom. Everybody wants to call, children, like, the likes of being, like, ADHD or something like that. But, like, it's just their attention, they just have bad attention spans, and that's why they become bad witnesses. And not only that, when you are abused, you become sympathetic to your abuser. And when you saw in the documentary right here, damn, I thought he was cutting in, or he did cut in, but
And a nice job here early of establishing an inside presence.
Nice play, Murray. And then another assist by Beal. Jesus. There we go. But what ends up happening is that, your child's going to end up being abused. And also, too, it's just surprising to see what greed can do to someone. Is that, you want to have the success for your child so much that you allow these warning signs to be passed out of the way, and that's just unfortunately not the case. Is that and that was the case, is that these were young children that their mothers and stuff were taking them and involving them with Michael Jackson, because obviously it's like networking to get places, is that you got to know people, and Michael Jackson is pretty much someone you want to know if you want to get famous or on the scene for that. Kind of like how famous rappers like to. Damn, dude, this team's hacking up a storm. Is that, networking and getting to know people and building your way up and stuff and organizations and whatnot. Is that, yeah, that's what happened. And unfortunately, is that you saw with the mothers that they're doing that, but like, they because of that, they let the warning signs go by. They let these warning signs go by that, like, went against the safety of their own children. Just because of wanting this commercial success and being, oh, well, that could take a big dent in, the ability for my child to become famous off of this stuff that, like, we want. And then that's what people sacrifice, right? It's like people sacrifice their morality to get ahead in the world. And, obviously not a good thing. That was expected. I should have not passed that. But you saw that with the case of Michael Jackson and these kids, now grown-ups, obviously, because this shit was happening in the 90s. I don't know why people were surprised to hear this when it happened. You know what I mean? Like, Mad TV would make jokes and shit of Michael Jackson being a pedophile, like liking kids, you know what I mean? Being a little bit too touchy-feely with children. So, like, it's just... Jesus Christ. Trevor Booker. Booker. But, you see it with the Michael Jackson thing. And then also, too, is that, like, is that some people, too, like, I understand the feeling of, like, being a support of something that in itself, like, you don't want to support something that, you know, might go against your morality. It's nice. That was a lucky ass bounce, but I'll take it. But yeah, like in itself is that you don't want something to go against your route. It's kind of like you get the human psyche dealing with hearing shit that, like, you know, that disagrees with them on something, and they automatically assume that, like, you know, oh, that's, you know, I'm a good person. Like, so, like, anybody that disagrees with what I feel about this certain thing must, like, there's no way that someone who disagrees with me can be a good person, because I myself am, like, a good person, and anything that goes against my beliefs, my belief system, is people, like, you know, can't be good. So with that being said, it's like people watching this Michael Jackson thing. They're not believing it. They're fans of Michael Jackson, and they're not believing, like, these stories and whatnot. Because they're fans of, like, you know, he's talentedly the best, like, you know, he's known as the pop king, you know. There's Elvis, and you got the likes of a Michael Jackson to be referred to as the pop king. Damn, I thought he was going up for a dunk, though, you know. But this team's let me drive it a lot. I might have to find myself at the free throw line a decent amount. But that's the case, is that, you know, people have such a structure. It's like the word confirmation bias is something that people actually don't even use enough to explain how humans act and why they behave, why they believe certain things, and how they react to people that don't agree with them on something. Is you know, is this confirmation bias. And you see it with not only the mothers, because it's like, oh, well, that could, you know, there's no reason for, like, subconsciously maybe that it's a, you know, desire to be okay in your roots, so much so to where, like, you're like, oh, well, I want my child to be this, you know, TV star, and, like, in itself, that goes against being able to be a TV star, because then you're not letting, because this was their, like, oh, this is our gateway to my child being a commercial star. And the mothers were more reluctant to let Michael Jackson literally sleep with their children. Nice. Bradley Beal's a ballin' right now. Ballin' and we're a haulin'.
Lynn dishes to Green. From deep. Shot by Crowder, no good.
There we go. But yeah, you get that confirmation bias. Nicely done, Beal. You get that confirmation bias that drives so much, and it's rooted a lot into, you know, just the human psyche, from my guess. You know, I didn't study psychology and stuff like that, but it's my guess of what, you know, what drives humans to do certain things. You know, such as, like, a mother who, most mothers should be on high alert for that kind of situation. Who's this creepy dude with a really creepy voice, you know, that's wanting to hang around my children and other children? And you know what I mean? So much so, like, to sleep in the same bed as them. Yeah, radar is like fucking alert. Like, that should be enough to fucking tell you that something's wrong here. But no, it's like, you know, oh, this would go against my child being able to become, like, a commercial star or something like that in Hollywood or something. To where, you know, it's just, damn, I thought McCollum was about to bust that. So much so that these horrible things happened, and part of the blame needs to be on the mothers. And obviously, too, is that you hear other stories of Michael Jackson doing some just weird shit amongst other, like, trying to screw over other celebrities and stuff like that, you know, using his this lawyer team to pretty much just try to shut people up as much as possible. You know what I mean? Like, this is supposed to be the same guy that I love and adore children, like, so much. You know what I mean? Like, when he sings that We Are the World song, you know, it's not very much of Michael. Oh, come on, dunk it on him. There we go. These dudes are just letting him get to the rim way too easily. But, like, that should be, you know, enough to tell you that this guy's just not a good person. And it sucks to find that out about someone who's that talented. That, like, you know, at the end of the day, talent is materialistic. And you can either be a terrible person, or you can be a nice person, but you could also still have the same talent level. And that's just the case with Michael Jackson, is that you got someone that he can be good or bad, and unfortunately that stuff happened to him in his childhood. But that doesn't take away his responsibility to literally play with children against really their will, because you know these again at the end of the day are not adults.
I'll tell you what though, he'll take that every time. That's a great look.
Good defense, Crowder. Crowder is a little bit more of a stronger, less athletic version of like Jonathan Isaac, like you know, like an early Jay Crowder was. Nice shot by Lillard. But that's the vibe I get with this situation. Is that, like, you know, the mothers have to be seen to be put at blame too. You know, these aren't just like, at the end of the day, like, you know, people talk about victims all the time and stuff like that. You know, there's always victims out there. There's always a victim. And, like, especially Hollywood of all places, you're going to get people that treat as victims. And people, like, try to victimize, you know, the likes of a... victimize the likes of a Michael Jackson, who, if you ask me, if he had a resume for being a nice person, I would say he would not be hired at the nice place. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, like, this guy has this history of this, been seen shopping for jewelry in the past in the news with a child, which actually turned out to be their own wedding that Michael had with the child. Like, what the fuck kind of, like, weird shit is going on here, folks? Like, what the fuck? Like, no, like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, no. Like, it's just not right. And, like, also, too, is that, you know, it's really hard for people, and, like, to separate, you know, the art from the artist, because they all think terrible play. They all think that, you know, that, like, talent just automatically correlates with, like, you know what I mean? It's like the thought that, you know, like, Barry Bonds is a dick. Barry Bonds is one of the best baseball players of all time. Alex Rodriguez is known to be an asshole. Terrific baseball player. You know what I mean? Like, Steven Tyler is known to be a dick, and he has some strange stories of being with a fucking 16-year-old and, like, telling her to get an abortion. Like, it's shit like that. Like, and, like, weird shady story to how, like, the abortion led to her being passed out and then waking up in a hospital, being told that she has to have an abortion, blah, blah, blah. These are people that are extremely talented, the most gifted, and the most famous at the things they do. But that doesn't take away the possibility that these people might be terrible folks. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the case. Like, there's no other way to put it, is that to know, like think about it, right? You can be a human being, and you can be a good human being, or you can be a bad human being, and you can be a good singer, you can be a bad singer. Like, you can be a bad person or a good person as a really talented thing, right? Like, this is like, you know, we're humans. This is a materialistic world we live in, to where, you know, we don't have to be materialistic in our ways. But with that being said, is that, you know, because, you know, we think of ourselves as this physical being and stuff like that, that, like, because of our bodies, obviously, you know, it is a little bit of, like, that observation in us. Damn. That observation, that observative part of our brains, that we're like, oh yeah, like, I am this material because of stuff like that. But there's, like, you know, there's not this, like, intangible kindness and stuff like that, that you know, that people try to use as a like, there's nothing, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a characteristic, a description of how a person is. And, like, and, like, that's just, like, completely thrown away. Is that, like, yeah, Michael, with the case for Michael Jackson, yep. Damn, I thought Jay was about to put that up. You got Damian Lillard and Jeremy Lin. Two dudes that I think they can shoot well off of each other, but I don't think Lillard's played all that well. We'll have to see how he pans out in the second half. But that's just the case, is that, like, people are so into their ways. They're like, no, there's no way I could like someone who's, you know, like, how could I be a fan of someone who's so terrible? I'm sorry, folks. Have you never read up of what fucking psychopaths are? Psychopaths are usually the type of people that are, like, garnered around societies that get high status and stuff like that. Like, that's the case with them. Like, Not a good shot. But that's the case, is that they might be likable on the surface, but that doesn't fucking mean like they're good people. But people want themselves to believe that they liked someone that was good the whole time. It's probably why you get people that stay in relationships a decent amount with abusive people. Is that, you know, maybe there's that denial in their head. There's no way that like I could be in a relationship with someone who's this mean or terrible or something like that. And that, like, I think that's the thing that catches people to stay in shitty situations and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, they don't separate themselves from everything else. And you need to. Like, you need to know that you're not perfect. And people know that they're not perfect. But in itself, though, people sometimes, that ego in the human brain just makes it really hard. That makes it really hard for humans to be able to just sit there and realize, man, maybe I fucked up. Terrence Ross is balling. Never mind, I'm glad he came, that I played him, so it's all good. Sweet. Really need to get Beal in this game. Jesus, what a fucking dunk. Let's call it 20-second timeout on this one. But that's just the case I get from stuff. Is that, you know, is that just the case is that, like, if you ask me, you know, you gotta separate the art from the artist, because you're gonna have someone, like, think about Kanye. A lot of people don't like Kanye. Why have they decided to finally, you know, shut off Kanye when it comes to that shit? Everybody fucking loves Kanye. Are you kidding me? Ah, come on, Plumlee. Nice. I'll take him passing that all day. All day, all day. But that's the case, is that, you know, is that if I found out that the maker of, like, the inventor of, like, Hershey's and, like, peanut butter cups and shit like that, you know, if I found that he or she, or her or she, he or she, you know, was a serial rapist, I would still eat a fucking peanut butter cup. Like, this shit's delicious. Nice play, Rondo. There we go. Time to take out Rondo. Put in Mr. Mr. Murray. Close that and let Rondo play quite a bit. But that's the case, is that people got to learn how to separate shit like that.
And you can tell they're just a little out of sync. I think he just wants to get everybody back on the same page.
It's just like, I just don't understand, like, why people get to that point, but that's just what people do. And just like, you know, we can't, like, let the mothers sit there and be victims. Like, it's a terrible thing that happens to your child, and there is a motherly love that can't be compared. Like, I think the greatest love is a mother to their child, is a mother to her child. But however, though, is that we're humans, we're imperfect. We're gonna get people that, you know, mess up and don't protect what they love well enough, you know. That's why people say, like, you know, you really don't mess with a female bear with her cubs compared to a male bear by itself. Female bear will fuck you up if you are near her cubs. There we go. Come on, boys, let's run this court. Nice shit, Kuzma. I gotta get Kuzma involved quite a bit too, but he's playing pretty well against Josh Jackson so far. But that's just the case, is that, you know, these mothers are not as much victims as people say they are. Like, I understand that that's the case, you know, what's going on right now in the world about, like, you know, the idea of men and stuff like that, and, like, you know, how men have ruled, even though it's just been the ruling men. It hasn't been, like, the men itself. And I've already talked about how, you know, of course you're gonna have men that are deluded in their fucking minds because they're fucking watching porn as their brains are developing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it makes it hard on women to deal with these men when, like, Here
we go, one-on-one. Here's Crowder. Hope they get it back.
Come on, come on. is that, like, of course, yeah, you're dealing with that stuff, but within itself, like, you can't let this, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't let certain things slide for certain people just because, you know, you're trying to make, like, a certain ideology come through or something like that. You can't let, you know, people not realize that, like, they messed up with, like, when you have the case of, like, these mothers. I understand that, you know, people are trying to speak out for women being oppressed in some way, but really, you know, we live in an oppressive system that, you know, forces us to work for minimal amounts of money compared to what other people make. But yet, you know, our way of trying to say that women are equal to men is that they have to do the same bullshit, like work a job. Like, I don't think it'd be privileged to work a job in this system. Nicely done, DeJounte. Because, like, honestly, to me, is that, you know, the IRS wanted women to get added into the workforce so that way they could tax women, too. It's pretty fucked up, but that's the shit that the IRS did in the fucking I mean, fuck Woodrow Wilson for coming up with the IRS. Douche. But you cannot let this victimization or this victim consciousness stretch across, you know, the globe in the sense to where, you know, victims are allowed to be able to become abusers, because then, you know, victim consciousness, like with Michael Jackson, he's still being a pedophile, regardless if you want to say he's a victim of his father or not. You know, you could deal with that. However, though, is that, you know, you can't make a huge victim consciousness of the mothers, because you should know in their position that something was off. You know what I mean? You're inviting them over to a cool house and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, what's that movie? It was a not Buddy Rich. That's a fucking drummer, but like, it's that movie with Macaulay Culkin, to where he's like the rich kid and like his parents, like their plane gets crashed or blown up or something, like a bomb, and like he has that, like, invites his friends over to make friends with them, and he's got like the McDonald's inside of his fucking house. People know what I'm talking about. You know, the 3 people listening to this know what I'm talking about. Is that, you know, it's what you can call it, like, that's a kid inviting other kids. When it's a grown-ass man who already gives creepy vibes, and he's very sexualized himself as a child, of course he's going to sexualize the children that he brings over to his house as a grown man. Like, come on. I don't fucking get why that was perceived as okay to the mothers. Like, nice move, CJ McCollum. Nice move, nice move. But that's the case, and that's unfortunately the case. Nice defense right there. I wanted that shot to go, whatever. Man.
Cauley Stein with the screen for Lillard. Back to McCollum for the tie. Jackson has the open look.
I'd rather let that dude shoot that in a heartbeat.
Here's Murray. And that one
Damn. But that's the case. Like, you cannot let, you know, that get in the way of that. These mothers do not do their protective job as adults, as grown adults, to protect their children. Because that's enough of warning signs and fucking red alerts, you know what I mean? Like, that's some like Pearl Harbor-ish FDR shit, you know what I mean? Like, how do you not know that there's gonna be fucking Japanese are gonna want to attack like the most isolated ass fucking base that's like your largest naval base in your entire country's worth at some point? You're gonna have to know that. And generals talked to FDR.
To the middle. Here's Cauley Stein, and fouled hard that time.
Yeah, Kuzma foul. I was going to say Bomba got all ball on that. But that's just the case, you know. I just don't understand that. How, like, people just, like, and that's what the thing is that, like, you know, like, oh, I feel bad. It's like, yeah, you know, but that's something that like, that's part of, like, the being grateful for, is that those mothers are going through that stuff. But they should be grateful for it, knowing that the reason why they're going through that shit is simply because that's you got, you know, it's karma, right? There's a balance of stuff. Is that, you know, if you get through the pleasure of doing something bad, you eventually feel like, you know, if you're an actual human being and not a psychopath, you feel the guilt for it. And, you know, in this case, they're feeling the guilt from, you know, not doing their jobs as parents to, you know, protect their children. And that's just part of it. But one thing that's not going to help them as human beings is considering that oh no, you were victims. No, your children were victims. Okay, not the mothers. Okay, I know that they're dealing with that shit, and it's terrible what happened to them. It is. But what I'm saying here is that I need to get more mid-range with DeJounte.
Yeah, not afraid of the physical play, but he still needs to stay under control.
Is that you can't have this victim consciousness grow too much because, you know, no one's perfect, right? So if that's the case, you can't automatically just start giving victim consciousness to people because it creates this idea now that that person's going to use that, because people are going to use stuff in life, you know? And people are going to use status to get what they want. In this case, people are using, like, you know, Michael Jackson used the whole victim thing to try to give an excuse for him to do the same shit that was done to him from his dad. Oh, nice block. Nice play, Jackson. Yay.
No doubt that is within his range.
I think that's exactly what you're looking for on the break.
But you cannot use that because, like, the mothers are at fault. You know what I mean? They're not victims in this situation. It's sad what happened to them, but you cannot use it as a means of, say, like, victimhood or something like that. Because then, when you have the victim consciousness on such a degree that you're seeing with the Neverland stuff and the mothers, it's a terrible thing to be a mother. And I'm sure to sit there and notice that, like, you messed up on something like that. But, you know, you need to also be told you messed up, right? You know, just like you get children crying and shit.
Deal with it. Lillard picks him up. The Cobra passes to Murray.
Nice, Murray. Murray.
Timely passing leads to
But that's what's going to happen, is that if you continue with the victim consciousness, is that it's going to create these people to not learn lessons from what's going on. It's because if they can't learn from lessons on that, then they can't be grateful for it. Because, you know, hopefully the mothers are grateful and that they learned a lesson knowing that they messed up with their children. Because you cannot let your children go to someone's house like that at all. You cannot. You really cannot let a grown man, like, take in your children like that. And, you know, let them come to his house in such a fashion. Oh, come on, Bomba. Your job should just be to get fucking... should just be to get rebounds, because, my God.
Outside, Lynn. He feeds it to Favors.
Because then they can't learn from the lesson of being like, wow, I fucked up because, you know, I had this idea that my child was safe, but that's not the case because I messed up and believed this man and put my children into harm's way. Alright, here we go.
Just great ball movement.
And Beal kicks to Murph. Once again off the mark by San Antonio.
He hasn't gotten many to go this quarter, but he's still trying to find that consistency.
Alrighty, alrighty.
Through contact, it's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
God damn, Josh Jackson's sweating like a motherfucker.
Crowder comes in for Derek Favors. The Suns have had 12 attempts at the line, making it.
I don't know why Beal, none of those, like, in that, like, it seemed like Beal's actually hitting all those. Like, you know, when it comes to, like, being a full 100% green.
For them offensively.
The dish to McCollum. Fires from the line. Rebounded by the Spurs.
There we go. We got to get Beal going.
Get right in the shooter's grill to bother him, and that's what they did to him.
Back to Beal. And they get it. We get
Damn.
the whistle. Contact on the way up, and
Damn.
shots coming up.
There we go. Let's get Isaac in this bitch. Keep Bomba in there.
Let's take this chance now to show you the list of the postseason.
Terrence Ross is going to get some decent time going on here.
And he's taken off on a tremendous scoring streak.
But yeah, you just cannot sit there, because that's, you know, that's the thing. Victim consciousness is that, you know, it's you're getting the likes of people that be considered victims forever. You can't let someone be a victim forever, because then they'll just be immature babies. You know what I mean? They'll never grow out of it and mature as humans, because it's, life seems to be a thing of suffering. There's a lot of bad things. You want to know the one thing that tells me that life's supposed to be full of suffering, but not to accept it as like, you're a terrible person because terrible things happen to you, and feel sorry for yourself. But it's in that your way of maturing is to realize at the end of the day that yes, that, and the one thing that tells me that more than anything, that life is eventually a thing of suffering, is that we all die. That whatever happens, if it's multiple lives or something like that, is that we all at the end of our lives face the most obvious suffering, and that would be to experience others that we love to die around us. And that's what's going to happen, is that you're going to have those, as I hear about unexpected deaths and stuff like that, is that, life is ultimately, we all die at some point in our bodies, our personalities, everything about us. But, maybe there's a spiritual component to us that stays on to a new thing or something like that, but our bodies die. You know what I mean? It's like where we get this idea of heaven, that our bodies are going to be in heaven. No, Holmes. Your body's, like, obviously, your body's not going to fucking heaven, and neither is your personality, because all that is the matter inside of your brain and your body that, when you get that casket dropped. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, like, all right, here we go, Terrence Ross.
To the inside, pass to Jay. And he misses the go-ahead basket.
But, that's the one thing that can tell me when observing is that, and I've had an uncle die early and stuff like that, and he was a very loving uncle. But it's something to be grateful for, unfortunately, but you learn from his lessons and stuff, and you learn from your own lessons that could have caused, heartache for that person to die. Is that just unfortunately the case? But guess what? It's, it's supposed to be there for us to sit there and realize that, there's an ultimate, like an ultimate plan. You could say optimal Rondo. Is that there's ultimately some sort of plan of your life ahead of you. That, it's like you saw in that Netflix game. The Netflix game. I say game, but it was the fuck. What was the name of it? It was the one to where whatchamacallit. Yeah, it's called whatchamacallit. It was about the video game that guys tried to play in like the 80s or developed in the 80s.
They've gone 7 for 16 the second half from the field, shooting a bit under 50%. Biombo with the block. Tries again. Rondo's shot is
Good shit, Rondo.
Rondo's got 4 points in the quarter. Phoenix has gone 1 of 4 and 3-point shots here in the
Damn. Is that, that maybe things are set out for you to make choices, and then those choices ultimately decide, your fate on stuff. Because, by default, it decides your fate. If you could change your fate, would you? If you could change your fate, would you? And honestly, I'm fine with accepting my fate, because I know ultimately that most things in life, pretty much 99.9% of things in life are out of your control. So with that being said, accept it now, and you'll save yourself a life of heartache. Because you get those people, a lot of people that guess what, the people that really don't get along well with others in life are. Those are the people with the type A personalities, right? The people that love to be large and in charge. Well, guess what? That doesn't work out, in life, because you have the number one thing you have to accept is that you're out of control of a lot of stuff. Oh, Rondo for 3. Ah, green. That's hilarious.
Didn't take them any time to get those 3 points back. That's the shot they wanted.
Oh, well.
Again, McCollum missing. Spurs trail by 5. Now the pass to Jay.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
He's got 11. Pass to the Cobra. Just beyond the clock. The shot, no good.
Damn, damn, damn. Big quarter by them right there.
All right, we welcome you back to what's been
But that is honestly my take on the Michael Jackson thing. Yeah, quite the long take. But I felt there was something to talk that could easily, you know, be something to talk about. There we go. Nice put back, Plumlee. He's played a pretty solid game so far. I know he's not going to pad the stats. He's one of those guys, you know, like an offensive lineman. You don't see his stats on the sheet. Like right there.
The defense did a really good job of choking off the middle there once he got inside.
Damn.
No luck. Suns leading by 3. Here's Lynn.
Really? It's not a charge? I sat down right there, dude. I was camped out.
The offensive rebound. And Plumlee kicks to Ross. Back to Plumlee. A second chance effort.
I'll take that, though. Nicely done, Plumlee.
4 points in the quarter.
Boy, a strong finish down low.
Here we go, here we go.
He was not going to be denied.
Man, if I'm playing like this against Curry, it's fucking done. Nice 3 by Lillard. He's probably going to play the entire 4th quarter. But that's just it. You got to accept that there's going to be suffering in life because you can't control everything. The one thing you definitely can't control is death eventually. Because you could be the healthiest person in the world, but you're going to have a limited lifespan, right? Like, that's what makes life in itself valuable, right? We talk about, you know, there being this, you know, value in economics, and that the reason why there's value of resources is because there's limited resources. Well, what value would life be if, you know, if in itself life was limitless? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, just no. Like, that's why it has value on itself. Fucking high flying Ross right there. High flying Bob Ross right there. Nicely done.
To do the spectacular, and he did.
Well, maybe this is the best time to do it. Cauley Stein with the screen for Lynn.
They're shooting so well.
Just 5 to shoot. Offline with his 3. Spurs trail by 5.
Here we go.
Coach is liking what he's seeing from his offense.
And guys, they put the defense on the defensive.
Really, dude, Rondo, like, these point guards can't guard my guys right now. Like, Rondo has 15. Murray has, like, almost 20. Just within itself, gonna need these performances from the likes of a Rondo.
To the middle. And there's Lillard.
Really needed Isaac to cash in on that.
Cauley Stein's got 5 assists in the game. Rondo kicks to Ross.
Uh-oh, Ross coming in.
And he was fouled in the way.
Son of a bitch. Sorry, no. We'll put in Beal. No, Murray's going to have to hold for a sec.
2 free throws now for him. That free throw good from
Terrence Ross is scoring well. Beal's back. I'm going to have an athletic backcourt going on here with, you know, 12 points for Beal. No more assists since we've seen in the first quarter.
Rondo on the double team. Here's Lillard. And you can
Damn. Damn, get the fuck out of here with that.
And the whole team has prospered from that.
You throw good, Damian Lillard. Look at the clock, a little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the 4th. Here's Ross. And right on top.
Nice shot, Ross.
Key buckets, and we know he delivers down the stretch.
It's going to be such a fast-paced series, I think. And that's the case. I mean, I'll tell you what, though. Damian Lillard's really going to ball out tonight. He's playing Dallas, who's not that good against the point guard position already. I mean, you pick your poison, right? It was Dennis Smith at first and Luka Doncic guarding. Luka's not that good a defender. He's going to have to work on it. But right now in this league, it doesn't fucking matter. That dude's balling way too hard.
Lets it fly. Here's Cauley Stein.
Gotta earn the buckets, boy. But yeah, that's the case you see with... Okay, Terrence Ross is feeling it. Never mind. Gotta have Terrence Ross come in.
And that one falls for Cauley Stein. That one falls, so he hits both of them.
Rondo's balling.
Spurs trail by 3. Plumlee with a screen on Lillard. The drive by Rondo. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. It's going to go on Willie Cauley Stein.
Yeah, easy call.
That one is off.
Yay.
Good on the second free throw.
Thank God I have his shot down quite a bit because that man is terrible at free throws.
In the first.
Plumlee with the steal. In transition, here come the Spurs. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
Yeah, just terrific recognition by Beal.
Come on, man.
Well, free throw shooting is a constant cause of concern for them, and today that concern has been front and center.
Suns have gone 5 for 9 from the field in the final quarter so far. McCollum dishes to Favors. Lillard up top. And it's sent back by Plumlee. Stolen by McCollum. Fast break, here come the Suns. And the basket.
Nice play.
You know, the basket is good, but it's all about the assist there. That pass let him do just the right.
Oh, you just got crossed, son.
Here's Beal outside for London.
Come on, man. All right, leave him out there. Get Kuzma playing the 4. Yeah, Plumlee's feeling it quite a bit, but I got to play Murray.
Threw the ball out of bounds. Beal touched it last.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
The Cobra is checked in for San Antonio. Murray comes in for Rajon Rondo. And it's
Good
Murray.
shit, DeJounte.
How about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Yeah, big change of possession in a tight
Yeah,
ball
not
game.
happening
We'll
right
see if
there.
they seize the momentum.
Plumlee with a screen on Lillard. Murray.
All right, DeJounte.
With the jam.
This man about to take over this game.
Epitomizes what a point guard should be. I mean, his skills as a passer might actually be matched by that creativity he shows around the rim.
Well, judging by that jam, Greg, I'd say you're absolutely right.
Yeah, he's rising to the occasion as you're trying to keep pace on the scoreboard.
Beal with the steal. Shot from 16.
Ooh, DeJounte, boy.
Beal's got his 7th assist
Ooh.
here tonight.
Wow, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page.
McCollum kicks to Favors. Back to McCollum. He feeds it to Lillard. 6 to shoot. Shot from 12. The putback. Rebound San Antonio. Plumlee's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Beal gets a wide open look. Another one falls for San
There we
Antonio.
go. A nice little, what, 10-0 run right there in that matter?
How about that under pressure?
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Damn.
And count it, the shot is
Dumb
good.
play led by Plumlee, but you know what?
That
It is what it is.
is what we call poetry in motion. Terrific pass that led him right into the shot.
Boy, is he really getting after it here in the second half, just drawing a ton of fouls.
And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot.
And there have been a ton of free throws in this game.
You have to like the way Beal is working himself to the free throw line. Great scorers make a living there.
And both free throws good for Beal.
Well, that's because most great scorers are considered all-stars and superstars in the NBA, and most all-stars and NBA players, superstars, definitely get the benefit of the doubt for a lot of calls.
Jackson up top. He's guarded by Plumlee. It's deflected and stolen by Murray. Moving it up. The shot's good from Plumlee.
Good shit, son. DeJounte Murray taking over this game. Doris Burke here.
Not at all a time to get sloppy with the ball.
And it's Lillard missing. Spurs leading by 7. Ross with a wide open look.
Oh, Terrence Ross.
Double digits. Ross has got 9 points now.
He's going to be gone. He will be gone next season. But my God, are we going to utilize him now?
And he clearly doesn't like what's going on out there right now.
He's upset. You know, there's no attention to detail over these last couple of minutes.
Deontay Davis looks like he's a brother of DeJounte. Deontay and DeJounte.
Guys, during that last break, I listened to the Suns coach address his team. He is not pleased, and he told them they have to make a push right now. He said, look, we got to make a move, or I've got to pull the plug. Pretty blunt stuff, Kevin. Back to you.
Ah. It's not feeling anymore after that.
Kicks it to Jackson to end the run. And no good. Trying to use the glass. San Antonio leading by 10. Beal from long.
I should have held on to it, whatever. They missed that shot.
Favors has got rebound number 11 for him here tonight. Here's the floater. McCollum, no good. San Antonio's gone 2 of 5 on 3-point shots since the end of the 3rd quarter. Plumlee with a screen on McCollum. This is it to the Kobe. Back to Beal. 6 to shoot. The pass to the Kobe. And
terrible play.
Outside Beal to the wing right side. Here's Murray, and they cash in right away with the quick shot. Murray's got.
And that's
26.
game.
Man, if ever there were a way to kick off the NBA Conference Finals,
Fuck you.
is it going to be a table-setting victory here in Game 1 for the Spurs?
Their shot blocking turned out to give them a big advantage in this game.
Yeah, excellent defense around the rim there, Kevin. They were disciplined and focused. And beyond the actual result of this game, fans are going to look back and see this was just
Fouled out. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Or sing it like, remember the Titans? Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey.
McCollum kicks to Lillard. And the shot.
Yeah, Plumlee's not athletic enough.
Just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Get up, boy.
By Ross.
And they're not
Jesus.
just yet. They're going to make sure.
Huge
about
game. Kuzma doesn't end up playing all too well in this game, but
all your energy, you want to do everything you can to come away with the W.
this. He's clearly been the best rebounder on the floor today.
Well, he just works so diligently inside, and then
hit it, Ross.
back that up.
This one just all but in the books.
Yeah, too many points, not enough time.
3-pointer Lillard. Lillard again missing. Here's San Antonio. Here's Murray.
no respect for the Hall of Fame CPU.
And this is going to be a fantastic result for them. No win on the road comes easy.
No, exactly. A W is a W, but when you do it as a visitor, the
Bust it.
accomplishment just seems that much more satisfying.
And so it's
Woo!
San Antonio. Easily taken.
There it is, game 1 in the books of the Western Conference Finals, baby. Woo! And let's skip the TNT crew. DeJounte Murray, 3 steals in that 4th quarter. Sick. Man, that was fun to use him at the end of that. That was a ton of fun. Here we go. CJ, like, it was just a hell of a team effort by both teams, I think, because you saw at least 4 guys with 15 points on their team. Cauley Stein had a good game, 5 assists, 9 rebounds, 18 points. He had a block. Damian Lillard only had 5 assists, 6 assists for CJ McCollum. Quite the game by him. But you see, this is why it's difficult to play a team like this, is that they're at least playing smart. This team is utilizing their players. They're shooting at least 35 times a game. They got 38 shots up with their two best scorers on their team, which is what you need to do. I mean, that's just how you're going to need to do it. And with this team right here, I mean, this man came to play today. Bradley Beal only shot it 14 times. Had about, 33 shots between these two dudes. Kuzma didn't score many points himself. Shot it only 7 times. Good stat line right there, but Jonathan Isaac didn't play too hot, actually. In that game, he got bullied around by Favors quite a bit, but I don't think Favors had many points. He had 12 rebounds, 5 assists, though. Good assist game by Jeremy Lin. Off the bench, 12 points, 8 assists, but 11 assists, 28 points. I mean, that second half right there. I mean, look at that fourth quarter, 10 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 3 steals. Just it was a 5 for 5 on field goals. Once he got that steal coming off the bench right there, he was just lights out. Just the way he was playing was excellent. This is like a breakout for him right here. As you see, I mean, look at that, 12.5 points per game with almost 7 assists per game and only 1 steal. He's getting about 2 steals per game now, but look at that, 18.7 and 10.2. That's just what I want to turn DeJounte into at the point guard position. Be nice and sick to do that. Bradley Beal doesn't get his normal output, what you've seen this postseason with 22 points, but he got 7 assists to start the game, 5 in the first quarter. He's 6 and 5, 6, 1 and 5. Him and DeJounte were just balling it up. Bamba was playing well as well. But Terrence Ross, just the man in 20 minutes, 21 points. Just playing a well of a game. I mean, 2 assists. He played very well. Rajon Rondo played well in only 16 minutes. I'm really liking the looks of this team. Just playing pretty damn well. Just a nice way to conclude in the fourth quarter. Just an outburst of points. It was just sick to play with this team, especially this game. A lot of fouls in this game for sure. DeJounte responsible, though, for 3 steals, 11 assists, 28 points, 3 rebounds, and responsible for 52 points. I mean, when he was on the floor, we count for a plus-minus of 19, 22 for Mr. Beal, but they definitely made their moves when we had our bench players on. They just didn't play all too well on the court, and I don't think Isaac, when Isaac was on the court, it just taking him off actually helped quite a bit there towards the end. Terrence Ross played really well, plus or minus a 10 when he's on the floor. It's just a nice overall game. And let's look at the team comparison just real quick. But that right there, I mean, 58% to their 46. They shot just only 4 less than we did at the free throw line, but we shot and made 6 more free throws than they did. It's just a huge difference right there. 21-26, 47 rebounds to our 47. Even game of rebounds. You saw right there a lot of offensive rebounds. Second half, we actually had 7 more rebounds than them. Impressive. I mean, Plumlee had a lot to do with that. 7 steals to their 5, tied for blocks. They had more turnovers. We had 1 more point off the turnovers. But yeah, field goals right here. 58% just shot really well. More points in the paint by them. Second chance points beat them by 1, but bench points, Terrence Ross seemed to be the difference right here, as you saw. With 21 points, 20-point difference. Just as many assists by both teams. Definitely a fantasy-friendly game. Just very pacey, very fast. So definitely enjoyed it. And now we can see about what's going to happen here in game 2. Let's go ahead. And yeah, it looks like the Raptors are on their way to taking down this Hawks team. We'll have to see. Oh, maybe not actually. Stephen Curry only had 5 assists to go along with his 26 points, though. Seemed to be the difference. No one double-digit rebounds, but PJ Fucker Tucker gets 9 and 9 in that game. Impressive. For him in 20 minutes, almost a double-double, a clean double-double. Kevin Love just not showing the love right now to Kevin Love. 11, 7, and 4. Not bad, but I mean, he needs to play more minutes than that. Tons of minutes for Stephen Curry. Whiteside needs to get more going. Clint Capella just is the player of the game, but they lost. Would have definitely been the player of the game had they won. I mean, look at that. 22 points, 17 rebounds, 6 blocks for Capella. Good game by Trae Young, 21, 2, and 8. Devin Booker, 17, 2 of 5. You see what happens when these guys shoot at least, 5 more field goals than they did in the previous game? Like, they shot well too. I mean, if those guys shoot 4 more shots each, I think they win the game. I think they win the game if they shoot 2 more shots each, honestly. One of them's going to make one of those, 25% on the just 4 more shots by these dudes instead of, Thaddeus Young shooting 4 shots, or Dragan Bender, or even DJ Augustine. That's what I'd like to see from a team like that. But this time, unfortunately, they still lose by a point. Sucks, but home court advantage, home court advantage. You're going to see the Raptors do that for sure. But yeah, as always, y'all, we'll go ahead and kick it off with game 2 probably tomorrow sometime. But as always, y'all, just appreciate the support. Thanks, buds. I'm just going to keep on going with this. Just a nice little hobby, like I said, that I enjoy doing. I'm going to play video games. I love adding narratives to stuff. So why not add the narratives and display it for my friends to see? And if other people enjoy it too. I mean, I saw that someone from Thailand was watching my shit. Don't know the user from being from Thailand, going on like a channel. I can't see that. But I can see on my viewing percentage and analytics that someone from Thailand was watching. So, yeah, keep it up. One night in Bangkok and the world's your oyster. But as always, y'all, I'm going to keep it up as well as I can. Just going to finish out this day of interviews with a nice phone interview. But as always, be grateful, take care, and yeah, be grateful, especially about the negative things that happen for you. Have a good one, and yeah, maybe we can do another talking point during this another hour of the 2K Fantasy Franchise series. As always, later, y'all, and take care.